It's the last day of this week's series. This is the last recipe of the week. The last recipe is always the most satisfying. I think it's just gonna be so, so delicious. It's the last day of my series that I'm doing this week where I'm taking a $55 grocery haul and I'm turning that into a week of healthy dinners. It's 5 nights of dinner recipes. Each recipe makes 4 servings. So then at the end, there are 20 servings of healthy meals for just $55. That's $2.75 per serving. This is the last recipe of the week and I'm kind of sad that it's ending because I've really liked making these recipes, but also the last recipe is always the most satisfying. Everything that's on the counter here is everything that was left on the list that I picked up. If this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, I've actually done this series 10 times. In order to make everything work, I reuse ingredients throughout the week, so that's why I say everything will be used up by the end. And I use in-season produce, cheaper cuts of animal proteins, and I rely on a stocked pantry of basics like oils and vinegars and sweeteners and spices in order to complete the meals. And then we bulk things up with things like rice or pasta or lentils or kale even. The meals are gluten-free and dairy-free. They're just really veggie and protein packed, and I absolutely love making them. So let's get into today's recipe. For today's recipe, we're gonna be doing one more plant-based recipe, and it's gonna be a roasted cauliflower and lentil grain bowl. It's gonna have a green tahini sauce. It's gonna have crispy lentils. It's gonna have roasted cauliflower, and it's also just gonna have a lot of veggies in there. To start, let's just go over all of the ingredients in the bowls. The first ingredient is gonna be 1 whole head of cauliflower that we're gonna cut up into florets. In order to get our protein, we're also gonna do lentils, and I'm gonna roast these 2 together so that the lentils get nice and crispy and golden. I'm also gonna throw some carrots on the sheet pan, so just like another veggie to put in there. I think it's just gonna be so, so delicious. And also giving us a little bit of protein, we're gonna make that tahini sauce, and it's gonna have tahini, it's gonna have cilantro in it, and it's gonna have green onion, a little bit of lemon, kind of like a green goddess type dressing, but with tahini. Everything is gonna be on top of a bowl of rice mixed with all the leftover kale that we have. And then we're gonna top it off with cilantro and green onions. So those are all of the ingredients. And then as far as spices, we're gonna be using red pepper flakes, we're gonna use smoked paprika, garlic powder, dried oregano, salt, black pepper, and then some olive oil. So first what we're gonna do is cook our lentils, and then while the lentils are cooking, I'm gonna take this big head of cauliflower and I'm gonna chop it into small florets so that they're ready to be roasted. I'm also gonna cut up the carrots, and then after we do that, we'll toss everything on the sheet pan and make our tahini sauce. So essentially in the end, we're gonna have 3 main components. It's gonna be that sheet pan, it's gonna be the rice that I'm gonna mix with kale, and then it's gonna be the green tahini sauce. At the end, everything will come together. We'll top it off with the sauce and we'll try it together. Okay, so I am just cooking these lentils according to the package instructions. So it's 3 cups of water and 1 cup of lentils. Okay, lentils are in. I just washed my cauliflower. Let's get this cut into florets. Okay, so all of the pieces I would say are no bigger than 1.5 inches. I'm just gonna transfer the cauliflower into here. Now I just peeled the rest of the carrots that I have. I used like 2 to 3 so far, and then the rest, I have a good amount, but they're small. So you could do like 4 large carrots, or I have like 7 or 8 kind of smaller carrots here. And while I do this, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 400. My lentils are still cooking. So I wanna cut these into, I would say like 1.5 inch pieces, very similar to the cauliflower. And I'm gonna cut kind of at an angle, something like this. Okay, going on the carrots and the cauliflower, we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then I'm gonna do garlic powder, smoked paprika, dried oregano, red pepper flakes if you want, kosher salt, and black pepper. I did a teaspoon of everything other than the black pepper, but I think I'm gonna need a little bit more because this is just like a lot to coat. I think I'm gonna add another teaspoon of each thing just because there's so much in here and we really want it to be spiced. Okay, let's see how that is. Yeah, much better. Okay, everything is nice and coated. Let's get this onto the sheet pan and into the oven. All right, into the oven at 400, and also cooking the rice now. Okay, now we're gonna make the tahini sauce. I'm probably gonna put this as the first instruction when I actually write out the recipe, just so you have it out of the way, but I'm just doing it now. So first, let's just chop up the green onions. I'm gonna use 2, but I'm gonna chop them all up right now because we can use the extra for topping. Set this aside for later. And then I'm also gonna chop up all of the cilantro. Probably won't use it all, but same thing, I'll use the extra for topping. And you really just want the leaves for this, not the stems, but if you get some of the stems, that's fine. Okay, and then the last thing is we just need to peel 1 garlic clove. And gonna cut the lemon in half. Okay, we're ready to start blending. So we're just gonna add all of the ingredients right to the food processor. First, 1/4 cup of tahini, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, juice of half of a lemon, our 2 green onions, about 2/3 cup of chopped cilantro, garlic clove, a half teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of black pepper. Okay, so it got somewhat smooth, but definitely needs a little bit of water. I'm gonna start with 2 tablespoons of warm water. I think I'm just gonna add 1 more tablespoon of water. I want it to be a little bit thinner. Yeah, this is nice and thin, but it's still saucy and it has a little bit of texture to it, which I like when I'm adding herbs. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes now that the cauliflower and the carrots have been roasting. So I just removed this from the oven. Then I'm just kind of tossing everything. Just continue to kind of like coat in the spices and mix up where they're placed on the pan. And now I'm gonna add the lentils. Just spreading everything out. We want it to be in kind of like 1 single layer as much as possible. And you should be able to because the carrots and the cauliflower will have shrunk in size at this point. Okay, I've got this pretty evenly spread out and now I am tossing it back in the oven. The goal of putting it back in is to get these lentils to get just a little bit crispy. Okay, my rice just finished cooking and I'm gonna add in just the remaining kale that we have. This was about 3 cups. I wanna add it in now because it's gonna steam with the hot rice. And I'm gonna salt it a little too. I'm just gonna let that sit off the heat covered. Okay, our cauliflower carrot lentil mix is ready. That was another 18 minutes or so, just so the lentils could crisp up and the cauliflower could finish getting nice and browned. Okay, let's plate our bowls. Time for the best part always. We're gonna do a taste test and I just love the look of these bowls. I've never really made anything like this before. I'm glad that I finally did because it's so colorful and the sauce I think is gonna make it once again. So let's give it a try. Oh wow, there's so many different flavors working here. I need 1 more bite. I love the different textures. The lentils did get just like a little bit crisp. The veggies are crisp. Then we have that creamy tahini sauce and the carrots kind of get sweet once they've been roasted for a little bit. So we have sweetness there. There's the fluffy rice with little pieces of kale in it. There are just so many different textures in this bowl and I think that's what makes a really great grain bowl. So many different components, tastes, textures in like every single bite. And I think I really did that with this one. Okay, so that was the last recipe from this week. I really can't believe it. I have really enjoyed every night's recipe, even the plant-based ones. Like I know sometimes I get people who are kind of hesitant about doing the plant-based meals, but I really encourage you to try them because those ones have been so good. I loved the lentil wraps from the other day. The soup was like such a perfect kickoff to soup season. I always love a 1-pot chicken and rice, so I loved that one. And then the pesto meatballs, even just the meatballs alone is perfect for like a very quick meal prep, ingredient prep, or the whole meal as a weeknight dinner. So I think all of these in their own way are just like really great weeknight recipes when you don't have a lot of time, but you want to eat something that's really nourishing and still tasty and exciting. And I just love how this series kind of makes me go out of my comfort zone every time because I put together dishes that I just wouldn't normally think of because I have to figure out ways to make all of the ingredients work, to use everything up, to not spend a lot of money, and to deliver a lot of flavor even when you're limited by how many different ingredients you can use, which is really difficult a lot of the time. So if you are looking for for the grocery list, for any of the other recipes that we made this week. Everything is linked in the description so you can find it. I've posted a video every day this week, so I hope you watch them all. I hope you cook along with me. And the recipe for today and the recipes from this week are all on my website, fully written out so that you don't have to just like follow along with what I'm doing in the video. You can actually pull it up. Check that out. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be doing more things like this. I have a lot of exciting videos coming up. And then make sure you subscribe to my Substack newsletter as well. I am sending out one of my free newsletters this Sunday that includes a full roundup of the grocery list, the pantry staples I use, all of the recipes, everything that you need to follow this series in one spot. And it's really convenient because it can be kind of hard to go back and find different ones when I've done this so many times now. So subscribe there. You'll get it sent right to your email inbox, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, anywhere that you can pretty much find me. Jen Eats Good with 2 N's and 3 O's. Thank you again for watching this week. I had so much fun with it. I hope you loved the videos. Let me know your feedback, and I'm so excited to hear what you think of the recipes. Okay, I'm gonna go finish this. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys soon.